right. So now, first of all, I never hear you say much. So the fact that we get to have a whole conversation, I'm excited.
We jumping right into it, huh?
Listen, we jumping right in. We jumping right in.
Yeah.
You are known as the quiet assassin of the group. Four incredibly smart, incredibly powerful Black men who are building a global fashion brand. Number one, that alone is enough to be like, yeah, that's my stuff. But you are so quiet, and I actually believe that truly genius people, they're so quiet about how they do things. They move about the world. They are that quiet assassin. But why is it that you're so quiet? Is it that you don't have as much to say, or you prefer your work to speak for itself? What is that?
Well, first, I appreciate the term genius. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? I'll never see myself as something like that. I'll never sit down and think of myself as what you just said. I think it's like a fully loaded question, or there's many layers to it. One being my personality, another being my thought process on like just how I choose to operate as like a human being and stuff like that. So I guess to answer your question, personality wise, I'm a quiet guy. Like off rip, like I'm gonna just observe. So I'm more of an observer than anything.
Okay.
And then with that, I also am a proponent of learning.
Okay.
So going through life, I just looked at a lot of situations as learning opportunities. And I'm one of those people that like to learn just by like paying attention for real and not really like trying to insert myself or insert my knowledge or whatever into it. So me, I like to kind of like always go back to, you know, we're made with 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
So, you know, that input is certainly should outweigh the output and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's one reason, you know, it's like, and also like, especially in that learning process, like say if I'm talking to somebody like with much more experience than me, a little more wisdom, I'm gonna sit there and like listen to them drop their gems, because it's like, what good is my 2 cents compared to the gems that they dropping, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's one reason. And I always like to let, say like my work or whatever speak for me, rather than me like speaking or selling it. And I also feel that was one of my downfalls as well.
I was just gonna say, now the work don't got a vocal box.
Huh?
The work doesn't have a vocal box.
Exactly. But more in a downfall in the sense where it's like, when you create something, you should share it, you know, you should share it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I guess me coming up, I was used to like just creating something, and you know, my parents and my father, my grandfather, they always spoke power and love into me. So they always talk about how proud I was. So I was used to that. Like, I don't gotta say nothing, they're gonna, you know.
They're gonna give it no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So then do you think too that might also be one of the major strengths that you bring to the group, because you all work together, and of course every partnership has, you know, ebbs and flows and highs and lows, but the fact is you all still work together incredibly well, and you need varying personality types for that. Would you say that is maybe one of the reasons as to why you guys have been able to work together so well all these years, because you are authentically you? You don't try and change the fact that you are a quiet person. You know you're gonna bring some heat, but you're a quiet person and you're okay with that?
Yeah, I feel like that definitely played a major role in the success of the company and stuff like that. As with all of us, I feel like all of our personalities definitely meshed well, where I could be this certain type of person, and then Reggie or Garrett or Rick could be those type of people, and then we just know how to like mesh well, and we're gonna be tripping. So yeah, like I feel like that definitely contributed to, you know, how far we've come.
And also too, because you said that you're such a student of learning, that undoubtedly helps with the ability to be creative. And you all have had some really, really dope, unique, kind of intricate campaigns and really, really like thoughtfully crafted designs and things. What has been a lot of the inspiration behind a lot of that? Because there have been so many.
Yeah, the inspiration varies, you know. Sometimes it's out of thin air, sometimes from the universe.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's from like this music we're probably listening to. Or sometimes Rick will find something and then he'll share with me. Sometimes Rick will think of some stuff, like words. Garrett will think of words and stuff like that. And like Reggie has tons of brilliant ideas when it comes to marketing and like branding and just packaging. So it's all a mix of everything, and I feel like that's what kind of gives us that edge and variety. Along with that, though, is me personally, I'm very well versed in like all types of mediums. So if like say music, I'm gonna listen to all types of music. Like so, it's like I'm getting inspiration from everything. So I'm gonna listen to like Tribe Called Quest, to Gucci Mane, or Kodak, and then I'm gonna go and listen to Pink Floyd, or Led Zeppelin on some other vibes, and then John Coltrane on another day. Like right now, in fact, I'm listening to, what am I listening to? I'm listening to Andre 3000. I ain't gonna lie. I've been
The Flute album. Yeah, man.
I've just been on repeat, you know. So it's like I just get.
It's a frequency type of album. Like it helps you tap into different frequencies, creative frequencies. Listen, we're on the same vibe because I listen to all different types of music too. And so to be able to tap into like another frequency or another energy, then you create differently.
Exactly. And the fact that it has no words at all, it's like you just create your own world and add to whatever that is, you know. So I love that. Yeah, I'm a vibe of that. So, so being like versed in all of that stuff, being a fan of different music, being a fan of different art styles, like just art, period, and then I think that definitely helps with the variety, and then also the four minds coming together, like having their ideas. Like Garrett has amazing like campaign ideas as well. Like everything is authentic and like just thought out. So I feel like that definitely played a major role in just keeping consistent with the variety and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and it's so incredible to me that you all are really, really good at taking the ideas in your head to creating a product in your hand. What is that process like, especially when working with a group of partners? Like if you had to like, okay, this is what it looks like, what has that been? Because you also too, y'all produce incredibly quickly.
Right.
So what's that like for y'all?
See, I feel like that came a lot from a lot of my prior professional experience. Like, so before Fly Supply, but like way back, like probably right after high school, I was a freelance graphic designer amongst other things. I was a cameraman, editor, and stuff like that. So I was always good with like dealing with clients and stuff like that. And the reason they really took to me and working with me is because I'm able to understand. Like, you're gonna tell me what you want, and I'm able to pull whatever's in your head and take it out and then turn it into something real graphically and stuff like that. So I've always had, I feel like I had that reputation when I was in my freelance business, and I brought that same dynamic to me and the other guys' workflow, especially me and Rick. Like Rick, you talk to Rick, sometimes he'll talk and you won't even understand what he says sometimes. But I'm able to like really like dissect what he's saying or what the other guys are saying, and just like rearrange it in my mind and bring it to life in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like a creative genius. So okay, when you are rearranging things in your mind and you're taking an idea from the head to the hand, how are you able to then explain that to others to where, okay, this makes sense, now we move?
Okay, and I think that's where that's been a lot of my challenge, like a lot of my challenge as, you know, coming up and just developing as a man and a person, is really communicating. See, my communication is strong visually, because I know how to, you know, visually I could communicate, because that's easy. I think that's why it seems that I guess I'm advanced in doing that, like taking it, rearranging, and giving you what you need by showing you. I'm currently working on the communication part verbally and stuff like that. But I guess the thought process is kind of just reverse engineering, like, I guess, in a sense, right? I'm just like, I listen, that's one thing. That's the first and foremost thing. I listen more than I speak. And while I'm listening, it may seem like I'm quiet, but I'm really like taking it in. I'm dissecting it, and I'm able to kind of like, you know, turn it into something that I could understand, and maybe the rest of the world could.
Yeah, that makes sense. It literally is taking your work, because for you, your work, now you're the only person who I'm going to admit that, okay, your work speaks for itself. Everybody else, I'm going to make them use their voice. um, but so you're saying, okay, so your work speaks for you because you take it, you literally cause it to have words or a feeling and energy of its own, and then you push it out into the world. And then just like with Andre 3000's Flute album, you allow people to create their own worlds with what you've created.
Right, because it's all subjective, right? Art is subjective, so
absolutely.
it's like open for interpretation. But I'm telling you, like my interpretation, because it's life, you know. Life is just, I feel like we are just going through the same thing, but in our own perspectives and stuff. Got our own minds, our own experiences coming up. So our interpretation of everything is specific to that one person. So I'm just like, I'm gonna give you that freedom to you take it wherever you want to take it, and
you go from there. And that too is something, especially when it comes to managing the conflict or the ebbs and flows of partnership. It's understanding that everybody has their own perspective, and sometimes that perspective might be completely different from what you put out. And so that means you'll have to learn how to have difficult conversations, work through challenges. Would you say, because the one common thread that I've seen with each one of you is that you all experience long-term relationships growing up in two-parent households, or the father who came in has stayed and been there for 20, 30 years at this point. So you've seen what it looks like for folks who are working in partnership together to go through things, to overcome things, to work through challenges. Would you say that that's maybe where your first view of partnership came from, or what was that? What has that been for you?
Absolutely, like 100%. Because I think that it's like, it taught me a few things, but I didn't know it was teaching me. You know, when it's your reality, it's like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. But like as I've gotten older, even like, like listening to others' experiences and stuff like that, I realized how blessed I was. Definitely. So what that taught me a few things. One, it taught me stability. So it just taught me to be stable and work through whatever it is that we have going on. And persistence, like definitely taught me persistence, because it wasn't always like, it wasn't always peaches and like, rainbows and shit. It was reality. It was real stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't come up under like, I didn't have a silver spoon. We definitely didn't have a lot going up. So we just had to learn. And that's another thing, like not having much growing up. It taught us like sharing. You know what I'm saying? Sharing everything. It's like we weren't really me and my family. I have 3 sisters. So we all grew up in the same household, and there were like other relatives that came in and stayed with us, because my mom was like, she's a very giving person. So it just, without the material, it really gave us a lot of love, I feel. So we were rich in that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel it taught me just to vibe. It really taught me to vibe, for real. I was always like on some shit,
Just to vibe? So then what would you say has been maybe one of the greatest lessons that you've been able to incorporate, whether it's from your past, personally, professionally, that has really contributed to just everything that you bring to the Fly Supply brand?
The greatest lessons? I added an S at the end because it's so much. It's like, it's constantly like going.
Maybe top 3 if you can't do one.
Okay.
Top 3.
Top 3. I think one of the biggest things for business and in life is like nothing really stays how it is. Nothing is like, everything has its moment. And it's important to be in that moment. Well, you can't really bank on that moment for real. To just be that, you know what I'm saying? Expect change, expect the unexpected, you know what I'm saying? That's inevitable.
Change is definitely the only constant.
Facts.
And you running from it, or, I don't like things to change, you're gonna have a miserable
Yeah,
time
facts.
because it's the only thing that is constant.
Yeah, facts. And that's why I kind of like try and stay even keeled as far as I like to be in the middle. Like I don't like to get too happy and too low. Like I just like to be in the middle because then I'm able to navigate the different dynamics of just life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one change is
Okay.
constant. And I guess I would say that was the biggest one, really.
Okay.
That was the biggest one. Like change is constant.
It absolutely is. So then, with you being willing to, because you said earlier that you recognize that the verbal communication is something that you're working to get better at, would you say your ability to accept change has helped you to identify what you need to work at and get better at? Or has it still been like a real challenge to kind of work through what doesn't come as easiest to you?
No, I think I'm real open for it now. I think now these past couple of years, the world's been crazy, everything's been crazy, and like everything's been like kind of going a little haywire a little bit as far as like people and energy and stuff. But I think now lately I've just been on some vibes like I've been more on a wavelength of acceptance. So with that, I think I'm definitely open to whatever comes and learning new things and learning how to communicate verbally and stuff like that. So I'm definitely up for all that. What was your question? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, has it been a challenge for you with, okay, yes, I understand change is the only constant. Okay, these are things that I'm not so great at that I need to learn to be better at. Has that helped you with actually deciding like, okay, I need to be better at this. I am going to learn how to do this. And it no longer being like, oh, God damn, I gotta figure this out or I gotta learn this. It's more like, okay, another thing that's about to change.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely it's less challenging now and stuff. Back then, I'm stubborn. I ain't gonna lie.
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, Taurus.
Yeah.
Yes.
You already know.
Taurus and Sag are the most stubborn humans in the zodiac. Like,
my mom and my sister's the Sag.
is she stubborn?
Which one, my mom?
No, the Sag.
Yeah, my mom and my sister, they both Sag. They're on the same birthday. Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
They can just, once they're committed, it's like, no, I decided this is what it is.
Yeah, no,
What
facts.
you mean we not doing? No.
Facts.
My daughter's a Sag, so
really?
yes. And I'm a Taurus, so just know
Yeah.
we be going through it sometimes.
Yeah, I already know.
Listen, what I love the most too, you spoke about things being so different. So when you were starting Fly Supply, like what was whether it's the energy, whether it was, what the passion was or the mission was, or whatever it was, what would you say has maintained, even though things are so different now in terms of the world and our experiences, what would you say has been the one thing that's been the same since you guys started Fly Supply?
Within the group or just outside?
You can do both if you want.
Wow.
I'd definitely love to know within the group, like what has stayed the same.
All right, so I'm gonna start within the group. I think what stayed the same is, I think what definitely helped is the fact that we were all friends before we even got into business. Like me and Reggie went to high school together, to Dash. Garrett and Rick, they I think they went to middle school together and stuff like that. To high school, played football and stuff. We connected through a mutual friend, Joseph. He went to Dash with us, and then he's from their neighborhood. So we are connected. So we were all like just real cool. Like it was always the same vibe even before we got into business. It was chilling, like it was cool. That we had to do and this vibe and stuff. And so I think in business, I think we always kept it fun. Like we always be having fun, like for real. Yeah. Like we're working and we're just clown, and then we get down to business. We'll work. We got work to do. We go through the L's together and stuff like that. So I think that's the constant that helped it last a long time. Yeah. But of course, naturally people grow. Yeah. People change and stuff like that. So I guess that's one of the things that's been like one of the challenges we've had to navigate. Situations change. Yeah. So Um, I think the constant has just been the friendship, and then within the whole scope of the business itself, what stayed constant, I feel like, is the creativity and drive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we kept that. It, albeit in 2012 or 2011, it was a little bit more because, you know, we're younger. You know what I'm saying?
Got a little more energy.
Yeah, our energy, a little bit
Yeah.
more excited. You know what I'm saying? Not in our comfort zone. So, but it was fun though. It was back then. It was fun. It was like some real fun because you stepping into the unknown and you just like
Figuring it out.
yeah. Well, we young too, so it's like we don't care. We're just doing it. And then you know it was divine timing. At that time, you know, it was kind of there was a lot going on at the time. It was kind of I feel a little bit easier to get into certain things than it is now at this time. But I feel like yeah, our creativity and hunger, I definitely feel that was a constant that kind of kept us going. We could use a little more organization. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just to be transparent. It's just, you know, we still learning as we go. You know what I'm saying? So definitely organization and business and all that stuff. We still learning that stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah.
And that's okay because nothing's ever perfect, right? And to try and, you know, pretend that things are perfect is when you lose the best parts of yourself because you're trying to meet or come up to an ideal that is not reality. It's not real. So then with all that you guys have done, what would you say has been a piece or a part of yourself that you had to let go of in order to get the business to where it is now?
All right. I know part I've definitely had to let go of is naturally me. I work alone for real. Like I'm a loner. I'm an introvert. I'm a loner. I'm all that. So I'll be quiet because I'm all these characteristics.
Yeah.
So I think it's not that I'm a bad team player because I've been in certain jobs and positions where I had to like you know play with a team, but we were really like in the trenches. Like I'm talking about, I was seeing these guys more than my family. They would say the same, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so really like just letting go of working alone, and it's like becoming more collaborative.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then who do you think you would need to become in order to take the business to the next level? Take Fly Supply to the absolute next level, the next 10 years, so you're at 20 years. Who do you think you need to become in order to achieve that?
I think I would need to become someone who's a little more vocal and confident, but someone who's kind of willing to lead. And because, as I said, like, I'm more of a student. Like, you know, I'm a standing cut. You ain't gonna know I'm peeping and learning, but I'm learning on your ass for real. I'm just like, okay.
Got you.
So it's like, now to turn around and be able to kind of like lead and show somebody the right way. I say right because everyone's path is different.
Yeah.
But show somebody the ways that we took, or I took even, to get a certain place in life. I feel like I need to go ahead and embrace that challenge. That's gonna be a challenge for real though, cause I'm like
You're resisting it. You're like, absolutely not. No, we won't go.
I'm not so much resisting it though. I'm like really accepting it. I'm just like kind of like okay. I'm a little nervous because it's still the unknown. I'm excited too, but I'm nervous. You know.
Well, the best thing is you have that excitement, so then there's willingness.
Yeah.
It's just you gonna slow walk it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need to peep the scenery before you dip your toe all the way in, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Facts.
Who you are absolutely works. It has been working, and now you're gonna just grow and evolve into the next iteration of who you are.
Right.
Just like the brand.
Yeah. Facts. I'm excited.
Thank you so much for taking the time with me.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Appreciate it, Alicia. Thank you.
You're welcome.